What do you think is a waste of money? What's the most useless thing you've ever bought? Write in the comments. Enjoy the show. Story 1 TV. Cable and streaming. Following a bout of depression, I gave up on watching anything altogether. And that habit has stuck with me, I guess. When I do get the urge to watch something, 123 movies is there for me. Why would I pay an insane amount for something I use once every few months? Story 2. So many things. A personal pet peeve of mine are shower gels and liquid soaps. For several reasons. Liquid soaps are made so you use them faster. Soap is a solid. Liquid soaps contain many unnecessary extra components to make them more appealing and keep them liquid. Shower gels are often heavily perfumed and with added color for absolutely no reason. No, I don't want to smell like Jungle Splash. Get a nice bar of soap. It will last months. Story 3. Weddings. Every company you contact will see rolling dollar signs when you tell them it's for a wedding event. If you plan a regular party with photographers and caterers, you would see way lower prices compared to telling them it's for a wedding. It's absurd. I can't fathom why anyone is willing to pay $10-50K or more for one single day to entertain their family. It's stupid to me. Story 4. Expensive spectacle frames. They are an absolute con. A few grams of plastic. You should be paying for the lenses, not the frames. Lego is made to a higher tolerance and it goes for pennies. Not convinced? How much do sunglasses go for? Not the ridiculously high-cost branded ones. Just a nice pair of sunglasses, a fraction of the cost of prescription frames. I suppose if you are the sort of person who just has to wear the most expensive brands for some reason, there may be a value. Story 5. Most designer goods for men and women. Thrift shopping and looking for sales is what makes me get new clothes. Otherwise, I find ways to repurpose old clothes and those prices aren't worth it. Wrangler, Levi's or any other denim brand is worth more than Gucci, Saint Laurent, and more. Also, you don't break an arm and leg, because I've brought Levi's and good jeans for under $20.25 at Ross. Story 6. Those journalist slop excuses of celeb gossip magazines you see when checking out at chain grocery stores. I was raised in a very strict Christian, with a sprinkle of Orthodox and Amish ideology, please don't ask, it was strange and traumatizing, household, and my parents would snap at us for glancing at them, and would shield our eyes away from them as little kids when we were eye level with them. It was for stupid reasons, like if they were dressed and some cleavage was visible, but now they were kind of right. I don't see people taking them off the racks in front of me, but if I did, I'd consider that a waste of money. Who buys those? Story 7. Ambush marketers at shopping malls. They are usually staffed by annoying backpackers and stand in front of you to pitch their sale when all you want to do is get the groceries and leave. That and the "have a nice day" reply when you state no. If charities use the legit path for funding and understand most people are hard up at present. P.S. I would also add asking for donations from the public from a major chain like Macca's or JB Hi-Fi to this. Story 8. Things like Pandora, Spotify, where you have to pay like if you want uninterrupted music, IDK go old school and get an iPod, I guess. HOAs, clothing from fast fashion merchandisers, cigarettes, lottery, MLMs, most name brand foods, most insurances, any type BCU always end up getting D***seeked over, even though it's necessary, and they know that. Hence, price gouging. Car washes. The new phone everyone hypes when released. Any meal subscription or delivery service. Trendy water bottles or trendy cups in general. Basically anything advertised on TikTok LOL. Fancy McMansions or mansions at all. Designer children's clothing. Pointless car modifications like, dude, no one cares about your spoiler or rims. Boxing matches like pay-per-view type, that's all I can think of right now, LOL. Story 9. Hello, dear hive mind. I don't have much money, but I've pondered this question quite a bit. Here are a few things I personally forgo in my life, along with brief explanations. Hygiene products. I've ditched shampoo and soap, opting to wash myself only with water. After a shower, I use a bit of deodorant, and that's it. The origin of this decision lies with my scalp. I used to suffer from severe dandruff, worse in winter than summer, probably due to sweat on my scalp. After some research and quieting my own thoughts, I decided against hygiene products. My body doesn't truly need them. I'd only become dependent. It's cost-effective to avoid habituating my body to unnecessary substances. Toothbrush and toothpaste. Of course, I still use these. Streaming services. Netflix, Hulu, Disney+. The mere thought of ongoing subscriptions horrifies me. I subscribe for a month only when there's enough content and time to justify it. The principle remains the same. I don't want to mindlessly watch out of habit. If I can't make the most of it during that month, I skip it. Everyone's money should be too precious to be deducted monthly without substantial usage. Annual smartphone upgrades. Yes, you guessed it. The old device still works. Recurring costs are a major concern for me. and the scale varies across different areas and products. It's all a matter of perspective, dear fellow humans. I hope I can still help someone, despite my unconventional choices. Story 10, tobacco. If you haven't started, don't. If you have, quit as soon as possible. I chew, and I probably always will spend $40 a week on it. That's $2,000 a year. Put that in an IRA, and you can retire a millionaire. Just did the calc. At 20, if you didn't spend $40 on tobacco and planned to retire at 65, you would have $380K. That's a damn good start to being a millionaire. Story 11, buying latest iPhones. I don't get it. All of them are literally the same with only a few modifications to the lens and screen resolution, which doesn't make a huge difference to user experience per se. In short, I don't get people buying iPhones, solely for luxury purpose when older versions, other phones serve the same purpose at a lesser cost. Story 12, nothing is a waste of money if it brings you happiness. You work hard. It's your money. You are allowed to spend it however you like. Just not to do anything illegal. If it brings you happiness, we all die in the end. There are people with billions in their bank accounts, but they've died, and all that money is now meaningless. If you work hard to earn your money, then you might as well be happy spending it however the heck you like. Story 13, bottled water. 90% of that shit is just tap water from whatever town the plant is built in, which is already drinkable. The other 10% is actual spring water, but most water plants get their water from groundwater, so it's the same thing. You could argue that bottled spring water has a more consistent taste and quality, but is it really worth the $20 plus for a pack when you can buy a filter that will yield similar results that costs way less to replace every month or so, plus microplastics? Story 14. If I were to say the first thing to come to mind, I would get up teen bazillion downvotes. So here's something else I thought of that is a huge waste of money. Buying the $400 wheels for the Mac Pro, or $19 for Apple's polishing cloth. Why the fuck would you pay $400 for fucking wheels? Why the fuck would you pay $19 for a cloth to wipe your greasy fingerprints or dust off your screen? It's ludicrous. Story 15, cars. It's one thing if you live in a rural area or have a disability or extra need. But if you live in an urban environment with reasonable public transit, I do not understand why anyone would own a car. They are so expensive that I can take cabs or rent cars whenever I need them and still save considerable money. Foregoing a personal car is not as inconvenient as people think it is. Public transit is better for the environment, and for local communities, everyone wins. Story 16. Coffee when bought outside of the house more than once a month. Coffee makers cost as much as 2 double frappa kappa dippa dappa muffliats with unicorn sprinkles, and after that, making yourself a cuppa costs pennies per cup. Syrups are simple to make at home too if you want a sugar bomb instead of a pick-me-up. But either way, making it at home is easier and barely a fraction of the cost. Mustard and ketchup bought from the store. Takes less than half an hour to make, taste amazing. Costs about the same. Story 17. Honestly owning a car. I know it's one of the most useful things to have and necessary for a lot of people. But even running an old shitty car is so expensive. Just doesn't seem proportionately priced to other things once you've paid for the car itself, tax, insurance, fuel, maintenance, repairs. It absolutely drinks money. And if you don't use it so much like myself because I work from home and walk most places if possible, you find yourself running into other problems like you need to take it out so it doesn't go flat or rust up. Just had to buy a new battery because I didn't drive it enough, like damn, I can't even get away with using it conservatively. Story 18. The luxury clothes with the logos all over it. I totally get spending a good chunk of change on well-made clothes that will last, but I can't imagine a designer t-shirt with the logo over and over goes with too many outfits. If I spend a lot on a piece of clothing, it has to be versatile. Not just many outfits, but many occasions. Work, school, grocery store, etc. I also don't think they look good, but that's just personal style preference. A lot of people love them. Story 19. This is going to be controversial, but repartition-based retirement. I'm throwing 20% of my paycheck into a system that will fail before I retire unless everyone starts making a whole bunch more babies right now. It's a game of generational hot potato that isn't inherently detrimental to the environment or to social progress, but has to be because the moment population starts to plateau, it's going to collapse. Literally a Ponzi scheme. And the worst thing is, in the places where it's implemented, it's mandatory. I can't just go, hell no, I'm out of there because that's a crime. It has to be mandatory because otherwise every young worker would realize the scam and get out of it, and it would collapse even sooner. Story 20. Porn, bro, it's literally free on the internet. Antivirus software like just use your brain and don't download from shadywebsite.com. Plus, If you're using Windows, you get a free antivirus software, aka Windows Defender, which, contrary to what most idiots think, Windows Defender is good enough. You don't need any other antivirus software than Windows Defender. iPhones and iPads, iOS is literally an objectively worse software than Android in basically every single way. Story 21. As a drummer, there are these things called cymbal tuners that you can buy 2 pairs of for $25, but they're literally just miniature magnets that you can get at any hardware store for 1/4 the price and 20x the quantity. Also, couch pillows, specifically couch pillows that you don't want people using, and decorative towels that don't actually dry anything, but are meant to hang off of your oven's handlebar because they look nice. Story 22. Alcohol. In moderation, sure, it's a good way to socialize and relax once in a while. But once you get into the depths of it, it gets ugly really fast, and then there is no coming back. You can't become a hardcore alcoholic and then go back to moderation. You might think you can, but it doesn't work like that. Your brain is already changed. Once you are addicted, it is so expensive. A 26-ounce bottle a day of even of the cheapest nail polish remover quality crap you can find will drain you of all your money real quick. I've seen it happen many times. Hell, I went there myself. Been 3 years since I crawled out of the bottle. Story 23. Paying for public transport. Here in Cluj-Napoca, Romania, every Friday it's free, and it's so nice to hop on a bus going in the general direction you are, do a bit of wandering the shops and catch another. The traffic here, as in most cities, is horrendous, with most cars having only the person driving ... in gap. France, I heard public transport is free, so it's certainly feasible ... It also almost happened in Geneva, Switzerland. But unfortunately, only half of those needed for a majority voted yes in the referendum a few years back. Also, just to note, seeing so many empty trains, but full low-cost planes is heartbreaking. Humans are stupid. They're in such a rush to ruin their planet. Story 24. Greetings celebration cards. In the UK, some of these cards can set you back better part of a $5 for someone to read their name, happy birthday, from me, who's usually standing in front of them at the time. It then stays on the mantelpiece for a few days before recycling. The only ones worth it would be ones you'd intend to keep forever. New baby, marriage cards, etc. I don't care, I've just turned 33. I care less that I've got a bit of card telling me I have. A tree was cut down for this? Down for. Story 25. Asking for your attorney friend's advice, then completely ignoring it. X. My friend got charged with accidentally bringing a camping knife through the airport. It was a wobbler charge, meaning it could have been a misdemeanor or a felony because of the type of knife it was. I advised him to skip work and attend his court hearing, and gave him the name of an excellent affordable attorney my crim law buddy recommended. He did none of that. 6 months later, he admitted that on the 17th hole in A, had a warrant out for his arrest with B, new charges for skipping said hearings in C, asked if the warrant would be a problem for his trip to Canada in 1 week. Canada refused to let another friend enter for an ancient DUI. So yes, active warrants is a major concern. The affordable attorney got it all wrapped up for him for $2K and some community service, but it could have been half that without the risk of hard time and $1,000, $1,500 less. He put himself at serious risk of having to do one. 12 months of jail time. It's not just me. Everyone ignores the advice of their attorney friend or relative. Hire unlicensed, uninsured contractors to do dangerous work? Why not? Take 2 reasonable and easy extra steps to avoid a costly lawsuit from an employee? Nah, let's ignore that. Story 26. Phone screen protectors. I keep my phone in my pocket with my house keys for years and not a single scratch. I've seen people drop their phones with and without screen protectors with varying results. My theory is that the window where it would actually prevent a crack is very narrow. Most of the time, the screen protectors my friends use cracks under normal use at some point, and they hold their phone up and say, "Thank God I got the screen protector." Phone screen glass is really tough at this point, and putting something paper thin over it isn't really going to protect it. The biggest factor is how it lands when it falls. Story 27. Laser hair removal. $210 per session of full legs every 4 weeks. 12 treatments until you get any sort of results that you don't have to still keep shaving every second day. That's $2,520 you could have saved by getting a $63 wax that immediately lasts a month and a half. All these people say they're saving so much money with it are in denial. Your 12 sessions of being lasered with shit results could have brought 3 years and 4 months worth of smooth, no-maintenance legs. Story 28. Any luxury brand vehicle and modern 4-door trucks. Luxury vehicles are built using budget vehicle parts put into a fancy plastic shell, and these modern trucks sacrifice most of their cargo space for more seating because they are not really work vehicles but rather small dick compensation devices built to carry as many critically afflicted men as possible. Story 29. Pets. I always thought they were something for lonely or rich people. I'm surrounded by family, and even though two of my more irresponsible siblings have pets, and I refuse to help out because I'm already constantly stimulated. Also, my sister's cat pees in her room sometimes. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, like it, be sure to write comments and share your stories.